Hey, Deryck, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much for taking the time. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Well, first and foremost, we'll work a little backwards, or we'll just see how this goes. I always think I have a plan, Deryck, and then the plan goes haywire. But
Sure.
the new song Landmines is absolutely fantastic. And
Oh, cool. Thanks.
when I heard it, man, like there was just this sort of like vibrant Sum 41 energy that just exploded from it. Um, can you just kind of talk about this song, where it came from, and maybe, and we'll talk a little bit more about the record, in a bit, but just this song in particular, where it came to you from, how it came together, that sort of thing, because I love it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That song came pretty quickly, but a few years ago. It came at the around the beginning of the pandemic. Um, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I was getting asked to write some songs for some people, and I wasn't really thinking I was working on some 41 songs at that moment. I was just kind of picking up a guitar because people have been asking, would you write with so and so artist, and would you write with this person, blah blah blah. And I just thought, okay, well, I should probably have some stuff, some riffs or something, so in case I work with somebody. And I just picked up a guitar and I wrote that song really quickly. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I wrote another song, and I wrote another song, and all of a sudden I had about 7 songs. They were all sort of in this sort of like pop punk, like old school music, pop punk stuff that I haven't really written in over 17 years. Everything I've been working on, Sum 41 has been making heavier records for so long that I don't even think about that sort of sound anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I had 7 songs like that, and I thought, well, you know what? I actually like all these songs. I don't want to give them away to people. I'm just going to hold on to them. I don't know what they'll be for, but I'll hold on to them. And then I was writing these other heavy songs and collected more of those. And then I started to realize that maybe all of these songs could live on a record that could be a Sum 41 album in some way. I still didn't know what it was, but that's how it all kind of came about.
Well, very good. And then now, all right, so since we're on this topic, let's go into how these six, 7 songs have now formulated its way into what will eventually be a double album.
Yeah.
That, sir, is a lot more than 6 or 7 songs. I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah. So what I thought at first was, can these 6 or 7 songs live on, like, say it was a 10 or a 12 song album? So I
Mhm.
started mixing the sequence up. These were just demos at the time, but I was mixing the sequence around, driving around, listening to it, and they just sounded so weird to come out of like a pop punk one, then do a heavy one, or 2 heavy ones, then another pop punk one. It was just really jarring. So I sort of abandoned that idea, but I kept writing. And as I had more and more songs, I thought, okay, now I got all these pop punk songs. I got all these heavy songs. I want to listen to the pop punk ones in a row and then the metal ones in a row afterwards as I'm driving around. Just pick out the ones I like the best.
Mhm.
And as I heard them all pop punk in a row and then all heavy in a row, I go, oh my God, the music is telling me something here. Like, these do work, but they only work in sequence like that. That maybe this is a double album. Maybe it's like a heaven and hell type sort of thing. And then I just sent out all the music to the rest of the band, and I didn't tell them my idea. I just said, here's all the songs I'm working on, what do you guys think? And one by one, everyone said, this sounds like a double album. This sounds like we should. And I was like, okay, there it is. The music is
Right?
telling us all the same thing.
Wow, that is, it's so amazing to me when it comes together like that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like that's when you know that you've got the makings of something really good, when you kind of have that synergy with everybody in the
Yeah, yeah.
band, I would think, And so,
I believe so.
yeah, so how far are you with these doubles and being done? Are you close? Is it complete? Where are you at?
The whole record's finished. The record's finished, mixed, mastered, ready to go. The thing we were working on recently was, we signed a record deal with Rise BMG, and then we picked the first single, which was Landmines, and we just played the When We Were Young festival this last weekend. And now that that's all sort of like in the rear view, now we're focusing on release date for the record in the new year, when we're going to put out another single. Because the next thing we're going to do is, probably what we'd like to do is put a song out from the Hell side, more of a heavy song as the next single
Mm-hmm.
to represent both sides of the album. But
Absolutely, sir.
10 songs on each side.
Wow. So, Deryck, you have been doing this for a long time, obviously. I remember the very first time I heard Makes No Difference, back
Yeah,
in
yeah. That was
2000 or whatever.
2000. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You- When you kind of look back at the things in which that you have written, you have to have, I would just imagine, Deryck, you have this amazing sense of pride and also too, but at the same time, like growth. I bet you as a songwriter and a musician see, oh boy, we've really gotten better over time. Is that the case? Do you even listen back to those old things? Are you critical? Does it make you feel warm and tingly? Kind of where does that stand?
I think it's really difficult to go back and listen to things. I like some of the songs. It's hard to listen to my voice in those early days because my voice was so underdeveloped. We were so young, and the way I sang was so incorrect that it hurts my throat now to listen to myself back then because I know how much it hurt and how wrong I was singing, all from my throat and things like that. So it's
Yeah.
difficult to listen to. But yeah, I am proud of a lot of the things that we've accomplished and things we've done, and I've always been proud of the band as a live band, which I think is makes you to us being a band meant being good on stage. It didn't just mean like being in the studio and spending hours and hours perfecting something. It's like how well can you go out and just move people in the moment, and I think we're a better band now than we've ever been as a live band. And I think this record, to me, when I sit back and listen to it, I'm so proud of the music and the songs that I feel like this is our best record. Um,
It,
I don't feel like that's and I know every band will say that, but we put out records where I say this was the best that I could do right now.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily always say this is our best record. This I actually believe is our best record.
Man, that's really remarkable to hear because you've put out some really tremendous albums. So that just makes me very excited to hear this. So, a band that I have loved, but seemingly more in the last 10 or so years of my life, because I've had some interviews with them, is the guys from the Offspring.
Yeah.
I just really like them. The band still absolutely rips. I
Yep.
am sure for the tour that you just completed with them that you were in
Mhm.
St. Louis for, I'm sure you had other options and things. Why was going on a support run with the Offspring the right play for Sum 41 at that time? And I know it's a great bill and all those kinds of things, but I'm sure you had others. Maybe you could have
Oh yeah.
headlined again. Why
Oh
did
yeah.
that work for you guys? I was curious about that.
Yeah, we don't really do support slots. We don't need to, and we don't normally like to. The only reason is just for the reasons you just said. They're great guys, they're a great band, and we've been friends with them for a long time. And it just sounded like it was a fun thing to do with friends in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it was. It was just I wasn't gonna do anything. I didn't want to tour that summer, but when that came up, I was like, I'll do it with the Offspring for
Sure.
sure. That's
Sure.
really all it was.
So in going back just a little bit in hearing you talk about your voice when you were younger and things like that, now, what we're about the same age. So whether we want to admit it or not, sometimes to some folks, we're an elder statesman when it comes to certain things. All right. And I'm
Sure.
not comfortable with it fully, but it is what it is. Are you quick to offer advice to a band that you like? Do you wait for them to ask you? I know that that's a very delicate sort of thing, but I'm just betting that if you think that you could help, you would. But again, I'm not in the band world, and I'm sure that's a
Mhm.
fine line that you have to respect.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think I don't just offer up advice unless somebody asks for it. I find that people don't listen to advice unless they're asking for it. For the most time, usually people will ask you because they are actually in search of some kind of answer or help with something. But if you just offer some stuff up, I mean, I remember being offered advice in the early days from people who I respected and probably would have benefited from listening to, but I didn't want to because, and they didn't give me the advice, but they said, "Hey, if you ever want to call and for some advice, I'm here."
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, "Oh wow, that's really cool. Like it's somebody I respect and think is in a great band who I used to listen to." But I thought I kind of don't want to know. I want to find out I want to make those mistakes on my own and figure it out by myself. I was also 20, 21. So I'm kind of like, I bet I could learn from him, but I kind of want to find out for myself.
Sure, sure. That makes all the sense in the world. I am very much looking forward to this tour and the what I the headlining run in which that you guys are going to be on. Is there any word as to when that is percolating for 2024, and how many cities you're going to do? Any sort of guidelines? I know you can't tell us for sure details, but can
It's
you give us
not.
broad
Yeah.
strokes?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not that I don't want to say anything
Yeah,
yet. It's just
you
everything's
can't.
still being put together. And we don't know a lot of stuff yet. All I can say is it's gonna be a full world tour. We're gonna try to hit everywhere we can. Everywhere we've been before, we're gonna hit again. At least territories. I can't say we're gonna hit every single city we've ever played one
Yeah,
more time. Um, but we're gonna do a full North American run. We're gonna go overseas everywhere, Asia, Australia, Europe, um, obviously, like I said, North America, South America. We're gonna try to do it all.
yeah, yeah. I saw just the other night you guys playing at the Punk Rock Museum in
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was a
Did,
last minute impromptu thing at 2 in the morning.
there are very few places that I want to go that bad, but I want
Mhm.
to go there so bad. And you guys ripped it up. And like you just said, tell us about it. You said it was a last minute 2 a.m. thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Punk Rock Museum is great. You do have to go. It's really, really well done. I was blown away, and I've been there a bunch of times, and every time I go there, I feel like I still want to spend more time there because it's just so much.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, so we went there after the Sunday night show when we were young. Fat Mike was there. There's a bunch of people there. The whole place was packed, and everyone was hanging out, having a good time. And Fat Mike was like, "Hey, let's do a song. Let's do a No Effects song." And we're like, "Let's play the Linoleum." So we did that. He sang it. Some 41 played it. And then afterwards, Fat Mike was like, "Now you guys play a song." And since there were so many people there, we asked somebody from the crowd that was there if they wanted to come up, and we played Hell Song. And the girl from Australia, who's a fan I've met over there at our shows, she sang Hell Song with us. It was great. She killed it too,
Oh,
better than I
dude.
could have ever sang it. So it was great.
That's so I love listening to when I get to do interviews like this and hear stories about other famous people in which that I like. And I gotta tell you, I'm having like a kind of a tough time with the idea of never being able to go see NoFX again, and knowing
Uh-huh.
not going to be another NoFX record. I know things happen, we grow up, things move on, but I mean, that band has been so much to me over time, that I just kind of always thought that they would be around. So that's
Yeah, yeah.
just one I'm kind of,
Well,
struggling with.
I think I know what you mean. I mean, I've said it so many times. I mean, NoFX was the reason we started Sum 41. That's who we looked up to. That was like the band for us when we were 15. That we just thought if we could be like any band, it's NoFX.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so I know how you feel. I think you're still gonna see Fat Mike, still doing stuff. I think he's a creative guy, and he doesn't stop, So I think I think you're going to continue to see great music come out of Fat Mike.
Yeah, well, and also too, I really just like you guys doing whatever it is that you want to do. That whatever fuels your creative juices, that's where I want you to be, not just staying in a band just because I want it, or you know what I mean. Like
Well, the,
I
the thing
very
is,
much just know that the art is better when you guys are free to kind of do what you want.
yeah, I think the thing is like if you continue to do something that your heart is not in, it's not going to be great. It will those records and those performances won't be great, and then your image of that band or artist will start to change too.
Yeah, absolutely. Deryck, listen, again, we love Landmines. The Point in St. Louis, we have loved Sum 41 throughout, and we will continue. Congratulations on the single, the forthcoming record. You look freaking fantastic, Mano. So
Thank
you
you.
got that on top of all the things. So, we can't wait to see you back in St. Louis, and good luck in the future, my man. You're just still making killer freaking records.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Deryck,
This was
thank you
great.
so much. Have a good rest of your
Cool.
day.
All right, you too.
All right, man. See you.
Thanks.
Bye bye.